Twin Atlantic are back at Transmit, and yeah, that's quite an exciting thing. Is it always still exciting to have a hometown gig? Are you immune after almost 20 years of this kind of
Yeah.
stuff?
No, I'm definitely not immune. No, it's very, very exciting, and it's a high that cannot really be described, and it's very addictive. I mean, we're so lucky to have been so massively accepted by the people from our own city. So it's like this weird mixture of pride and disbelief and adrenaline.
Yeah. I've been walking around after work and even, like during the day and stuff, and I think unless you're really in the city centre a lot of the time, it's difficult to really appreciate how big the summer of music is in Glasgow. There's so many huge gigs. There's stadium gigs, there's arena gigs, there's gigs in parks, there's gigs at the normal venues that we have in the city. Coming from somewhere that really has music embedded in it, was that, a part of why you ended up a musician?
Yeah, it must be, man. I mean, and I kind of I grew up right in amongst it all as well. So, like out of my bedroom window, I could see and hear Hampden, like the gigs that would happen at Hampden, like out the front, is where everybody would be pouring past and trying to park their car or get dropped off by a taxi and all that chaos that happens around the stadium. Um, t- so I don't know. I think that planted a seed in my head of wanting to be involved in whatever was going on over there. Um, and then my big sister Alana, when she was a couple of years ahead of me at school, and so she kind of got into bands and stuff like that before I did. And then I just wanted to, do you know what I mean? You just want to do whatever your older sibling is into to try and be as cool as them. And so then I started. She worked at Bar Block on Bath
Yeah.
Street. And then I wanted to get a job there because it was, I mean, I was probably being lazy because it was easy. Oh, my sister will get me a job. And as soon as I kind of had one step into that kind of more local music scene, I never really looked back. Then I wanted to play a gig there. Then it just kind of snowballed from those two sort of like jump off points.
I think one of the great things about Glasgow is, you can do a gig at Bar Block and you might not be able to envision going from that to Hampden, but you can certainly envisage going from that to King Tut's to Barrowlands and just, there's a
hmm
trajectory that is possible to do. Do
hmm
you think that that gives encouragement, like just to have those venues that there is a kind of route?
Definitely, definitely. And we're so spoiled in Glasgow, and a lot of, for that reason that you've just said, and a lot of musicians, even uh from other countries. I mean, like Two Door Cinema Club moved over to Glasgow when they started to literally work that ladder route that you described there. And from all over Scotland, I know so many friends that moved from the Highlands or even from Edinburgh across because Glasgow does have that route that you're describing. And it's funny because when we started, I was so naive and just totally exuberant to get going that I actually did the one of the first ever interviews. I was like, oh, I want to play a stadium. I'd kind of skipped all in my imagination. I was like, nah, I want to play a stadium, and I didn't understand why I was doing that in the beginning because it's mental and arrogant and and almost embarrassing because of the type of
Yeah.
music we play as well. It's not. It was never really probably a realistic thing, but because it was literally outside my bedroom window, that's just the first thing. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I want to do that. So I've kind of it's taken some time and maturity to realize why our band sounds the way it does and all that because we were always playing, like you're saying, in Block and then the Barfly and King Tut's and we did do that route. I think what did we do after King Tut's? I think we did like the classic Grand. and then we did the QMU, and then we did yeah, we've the Barras and the Academy, then the Hydro. So we definitely have taken every step on each rung of the ladder, but I've come to peace with why did I at the start say I wanted to play stadiums? That's mental. But I figured it out eventually.
So a festival gig, a festival show, you know, like you'll have your own audience there, especially because it's a Glasgow show. But you know,
Mhm.
it's a mixed crowd as well, and it's an opportunity to grab people's attention. And the BBC will be there; it'll be a wider audience.
Mhm.
You know. So, how do you how do you kind of approach these? It's a different animal than you know, like like your own tour.
Mhm. Aye. Especially on like even more so when you're playing like a main stage because it's obviously like the kind of mainstream uh audience, plus the majority of them are there to see the massive headliner that's on that night. And if it's a bit of a genre clash, like which we have on the Friday at Transmit, because it's 50 Cent headlining, um, it's even more so of a kind of hurdle to try and get over. But we've been doing it for so long now that we've kind of realised that rather than trying to fight it, we just do what we do, and if people like it, they like it, and if they hate it, they hate it, and that's kind of part of being a proper kind of rock and roll band. You're there to kind of when you look at the bill that day, like that's kind of our job is to be the kind of the people that don't fit in. So we kind of wear that as our kind of badge of honor now, and we just do our thing.
Not as easy to crowd surf or dive into the crowd from the main stage as it is with some of the other stages. Have you asked for the dimensions, Sam, to check out the scenario?
um, so I've done it before. I've done it before there. I've definitely done it before. I think I was because this is our third time playing Transmit, so I've done it twice before, been in the
Ah,
crowd.
you're an expert at this stage, or you'll be fine.
Well, the only thing is I'm like what I'm 10 years older now than the first time. So do I have the stamina to get because it's mad it's really really tall. It's uh I've definitely had a punty off of this because another benefit of having done this for so long and it being a hometown show is that we know a lot of the pit security
Yeah.
and a lot of like the stage manager Dumbo. He just goes down the front and he's like I don't know, he's like 6'3" or something like that. So he kind of helps me. Giving away my trade secrets here. He helps me get back on the stage.
I was thinking about what you were saying about, you know, like listening to music, and often you do get it from your uncles or your aunts or your big sisters or your big brothers and stuff like that. It kind of gets passed
Mhm.
down. A lot of the Glasgow music that I listened to, I kind of inherited in that way. I was wondering if there was any particular Glasgow artists or Glasgow bands that you heard growing up that got you going and kind of tuned you into the music of the city.
Question. Um,
Might not even be music that you actually like, but you know, like music that was around in the background or that you were aware of.
I mean, I can't. This is the thing that's sticking in my head because, funny enough, I got into music to kind of escape where I was from.
Mm,
So I never really actually listened in the beginning to that many artists from Glasgow. I kind of then went back once I was kind of entrenched in it. And oh no, I think probably the earliest memory I've got is like would it have been like Deacon Blue or something? I think it's probably Deacon Blue in like my dad's car.
yeah, yeah,
It's not like a cool answer like orange juice or like G's and the Mary chain or something like that. But I'm just
yeah,
being honest. I do have this massive kind of pop streak in a lot of my taste and my songwriting because I grew up with that's what I grew up with.
yeah.
Um, it's probably funny enough. We had a our third album, Great Divide, got reviewed once. Uh, I think it was by Kerrang saying that it sounded like Deacon Blue. And I was like dead proud, but I think it was meant to be a slagging.
Yeah.
It was meant to be a slagging. And I was like, oh, class! They've got massive songs and they're like a globally known band. That's a massive compliment. But they weren't being polite. It was probably Deacon Blue.
Perfect. Well, best of luck, and look forward to seeing you at Transmit, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Cheers, mate.
Bye now.